Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for Coffee and Card at Home. So today we are on week 3 using the Christmas Scottie bundle, and this is the card we're making today. So you're going to need a square card base for this one. So this actually measures 10 centimetres by 10 centimetres, and that's just in basic white thick cardstock. So I'm going to show you how to make a start on that. So first of all, you're going to take your card base and burnish the fold, and then we're going to stamp directly onto the card with the first image, which is of course our tartan. And you'll notice the tartan looks a little different, because actually I've used the ruler like I did in my video last week to actually get the lines going across and make it look a little bit more like tartan. And the nice thing about this card as well is you could do it in any colour you wanted. I'm using Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape, but if you didn't like purple, then you could obviously go for a different colour, so it's completely interchangeable. So I'm just going to get that inked up first of all, and this is quite a difficult stamp to get it to come out neatly, so I'm just going to test it on my grid paper first. That's not too bad, I just think I need a bit more ink on it. What I have been finding is sometimes the middle hasn't always been stamping so well, so what I found is that if I replaced my photopolymer stamp onto the block again, sometimes it came out a little bit better. So I'm going to go with it that way round because that's slightly longer, and line it up in the middle. There we go. So I'm also, whilst I'm here, going to stamp the little ribbon parts that you could probably see at the top of the card. So this is quite an unusual stamp. It looks like a ribbon that's kind of trailing across the floor, and I just decided to put 2 at the top and the bottom, one in Highland Heather, which actually I think I stamped off first. There we go, and then another one at the top, and then the other one I did in Smoky Slate. So I'll just do that as well whilst we're doing our stamping. So again, just stamped off just to make it a little paler, and I turned it around when I did the other one so that they were overlapping each other in slightly different ways. So stamp off first and then overlap it. You don't have to be too precise with that either. Quite a lot of it is actually going to be covered over by the sentiment anyway. Okay, I'm just going to put my ink to one side for a minute because I'm just going to focus on my dog next. So I'm just using a small scrap of basic white, and you can choose really which dog you would like to use. There's 3 dogs to choose from actually in this set. You've got the one that coordinates with the punch, and then you've got 2 others, one that's sitting and one that's kind of sort of up on its back legs, kind of looking like it's begging. So you could choose any of those really. So I'm just going to ink up my dog. If you wanted him to be a little bit lighter as well, you could stamp off first. And of course, if you don't like him being grey, you want him to be a traditional colour, you could go for black. And then we're just going to take the marker pen. I've got Gorgeous Grape here, I'm just going to colour in his collar. There is actually a stamp for the collar, but I find that it's just as easy just to put a little bit of colour on with that. And also his eye just needs a bit of definition. So I'm just going to grab a basic black marker. Apologies for the noise then. Just to give his eye a little bit of definition. So because the stamp is different to the punch, we do just need to fussy cut him or her. So I'm just going to cut around the edge of the image and just I'm just leaving sort of a very small white border, which is what the punch will do as well. There we go. So that is going to be stuck on to our background now with dimensionals, just to raise him up. So I'm just going to pop a few on the back. 3 is probably enough. There we go. And then you can probably see from my original design that we've got Merry Christmas and May Your Days Be Furry and Bright, which we're just going to put on. So I'm just going to stamp those onto some scraps of card again, and then I will trim them with my paper trimmer. So going to use that kind of as a straight edge, and you can choose what colour you want to go for. You could go for Highland Heather again. I decided I wanted something a little darker, so I have used the gorgeous Grape. So just going to stamp Merry Christmas. And then also May Your Days Be Furry and Bright. I'm just going to leave a little gap for that so that I can cut both out with enough space. And I have just realised that I have completely forgotten to do the lines that I said I was going to do on the card. So just bring back my other one. It's too late now because I've stuck my dog down. But if you want to go for the lines, then basically all you're doing is I just took a gorgeous Grape marker pen and a ruler, and where you can see these lines on the check background, I just went over those with the pen and the ruler in both directions, and it just gives it a little bit more definition. But as you can see, it doesn't really matter if you don't do that, it still looks fine. Getting carried away with myself and completely forgot. So I'm just going to cut out those sentiments with my paper trimmer, and then they are just going to go at the top and bottom of my card. So I'm going to go a bit closer into that one. Now that one, I'm not going to alter that because I'm happy with how that is. But the Merry Christmas one, I'm just going to take a little bit off of these ends because it just seems a little bit long. There we go. So I'm just going to stick those on now, and those are stuck on with dimensionals as well. And like I said earlier, you will be covering over these ribbons. They are just really just for an extra bit behind them really. And obviously you could change these sentiments if you didn't like them. You could go for a different one in the set, or indeed if you've got any others. And also there are a couple of little blemishes that I didn't want to see, and those actually hide them really well. So always an advantage somewhere. And the only other thing left to do is I'm just going to pop a rhinestone on his collar. It can look like he's just got a sparkly collar. And then I just decided to put a few rhinestones around on my background just to give it a bit of emphasis. So where these two ribbons crossed, I decided to put one there. Oops. There we go, and then just a couple around as well. I might actually leave that one and just stick with those ones. It's entirely your choice. So those are our two variations, slight variations, just obviously you can see the background's a little different, and I've gone with less rhinestones on the second one. But just to recap, you will need a 10cm by 10cm square card base in basic white. You'll need Highland Heather and Smoky Slate inks, and then Gorgeous Grape for the sentiments, and also Gorgeous Grape marker pen for the lines if you wish to add them on your tartan background. And this one is just using everything from the stamp set Christmas Scottie with no punch. This one is fussy cut, and obviously all of those bits of information will be on the video details anyway. So I hope you'll have a go at that. I'm sure they would look lovely in some different colours as well. And next time we'll be finishing off our Christmas Scottie bundle with week 4, and we're going to be using lots more tartan but in slightly more traditional colours. So I look forward to seeing you then. Have a good week. Bye.